Press go live. All right, we're on.
Hello, boys and girls.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, this is the second podcast of Elegant Profanity. I'm Dennis Gleason with
Travis Barnes, and the first one I think went pretty well.
Went real well.
Especially for our first time doing it. No notes, no preparation. I called Denny just a few hours before the first podcast and set it up, so I think it went extremely well.
We had who we have on?
Ed Adams.
That's right.
Guitarist for Chainsmoking Hags. He came on with his brother Hank Adams. I thought the show went really well.
Hank's a funny guy, by the way.
Very funny guy. His voice is so
great.
deep you can almost not even pick it up, really.
I got a kick out of Hank.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Tonight we're going to have J.C. Gibson, also known as Make 'Em Listen on.
Gibson. See, I kept asking you his name earlier in the week. What's his name? Make him listen. What?
I'm trying to make him listen. You wouldn't listen to him.
I tried. That's what his birth certificate says. Make him listen.
He couldn't make it on tonight, but we will have him on in the future.
Check him out on Facebook. Make him listen on Facebook.
You got to make him listen at some point. So, Cosby's in the news. Let's go ahead and just jump into that. Cosby apparently has been accused of 19 counts of rape.
19 counts. 19 counts. It doesn't even seem realistic.
It doesn't.
Because Cosby is known for bragging about the fact that he doesn't swear on stage, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink. There's no scale. Like,
pull your pants up.
Like, he's okay with, like, rape, but don't say the F word. Like,
right. You can sag.
Where's that scale?
You can sag, but don't tread on his rape.
Yeah, it's
a weird world that Cosby lives in, full of pudding pops and push-up bras.
See, I saw that. He needs to like come back and do Jello now. Maybe like he would definitely.
He needs to reinvent himself. Is what you're saying. I mean, that would be good for him. It'd be good for his brand.
Yeah. Well, he's not guilty. That's the thing. It's
all accusations.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are looking for money too. You think it's 19 legitimately, or it's a handful that happened and people are gonna jump on that bandwagon.
Well, there's a reason you're only hearing two people. You know, there's only two girls actually getting interviewed. The other 17 are just.
They're not even girls at this point. How old are they? It would happen like in the 70s.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
So,
who knows what's really going on at this point?
That reminds me of a joke that you said about a woman's vagina and how you could keep track. I forget what it is, but go ahead.
If only you could see how many partners a woman had by looking at the inside of her vagina. Sort of like whenever you cut a tree down, the rings on the inside of the tree, how many rings there are, that's how old the tree is.
Yeah.
It would cut out the middleman.
Right. So
wondering,
if there's 50 rings, it's 50 years old. But if there's 50 rings, it's
50 cocks.
It's 50 cocks. So one ring is a cock.
One ring is a cock. Now this includes cock rings. We don't want to confuse the two.
You don't want to confuse the two.
And
or how about this? It's like if it was like a heavy like a heavy rain season, it looks a certain way. You can tell that from the tree.
It's very saturated.
So you can tell it was a heavy rape season. You can just tell.
Right. And what I also want to know is, would you want to be with a girl that has less than 5 rings?
Here's a better visual. Remember the sixth day with Sylvester Stallone?
No,
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Where every time you got recloned, you got that little mark in your eye, so people knew. That's the same idea with the rings.
A little bit. Except for, in this case, most girls would turn into cyclopses, for their eye would fall out. Most girls that I know, getting that many lines in their pupils.
That's funny.
They wouldn't be able to see anymore.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
Actually, Eddie Murphy, and I think it's Raw or Delirious. Have you seen this one where he's wearing the orange jumpsuit?
Purple, right?
I think it's purple and orange. There's two of them. It's
purple
Raw.
is Raw.
Okay, then the other one. Actually, I'm not sure which he talks about this, but he was like swearing a lot in his bits, and Cosby actually called him and told him, we don't have to swear so much. Why are you doing that? And he said that joke on stage, but now it's like You rape people.
Right.
I'll say fuck as many times as I want. It's still way better.
It's also.
Like he's calling Eddie Murphy up and telling him, hey, you said fuck 30 years ago. Now I'm just now offended by it.
Right.
Like his reputation is shot.
I would, which I don't even like Eddie Murphy. So I'm glad.
Are you serious?
I'm glad he called him.
You're missing out. He was 21 years old when he filmed that.
Yeah. 20 years too late, I'd say.
It's still one of the highest grossing stand-up specials ever. Kevin Hart beat it last year.
Which is funny also, because he's kind of fallen off to me. He's gotten very commercialized.
That happens to comedians though. Even like, and we talked about it before with Dane Cook.
Right. It's kind of weird though that you think of somebody like Chappelle, the height of his prime, offered all this money and you just walk away from it. And then everybody says he's a crazy person. What guy would turn down $50 billion?
He's the same person. He has a joke I saw the other day talking about fame and how it's like celebrity is ridiculous. Like he doesn't like being a celebrity. He hates the idea of it. So he's a sane person.
Right. Talking about going to Disneyland.
Yeah. He got away from it.
Right. So yeah, but like you say, with all these women with the Bill Cosby thing, this is what's funny about the media also is instead of waiting to see, it's all jump to conclusion.
That's it. That's everything though.
Right.
I
could come out tomorrow and say.
That's with everything though. That's why I said it on. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's why earlier I said it on the phone and you laughed at me, but he better have raped those women.
Right.
Because if it turns out they're just making shit up, like you're gonna completely ruin his reputation. Like it doesn't matter now. People assume he's a rapist. Doesn't even matter at this point.
Because I could come out and say, I could go on Twitter tonight and say, just left Denny's, had a bunch of babies in his refrigerator. Don't know what that's all about.
Right.
And everybody would assume that you're a baby eater.
Well, I mean, it's like veal, really.
That's true. Took some veal into a place the other day, and says, that's up pretty good, and the guy goes, baby cow. I don't know if he really understood English that much. But
actually, here's a question for you. This is a good question. If you're on a first date, she's a 9, or in your case, 4, which is a 9 everybody else.
Right.
And you want to surprise her with some exotic food, you're going to make dinner, and you go into a pet shop, and you're like, I want 2 parrots. And the guy says, oh, that's cool. What are you going to do with the parrots? Oh, they're for dinner. But does the guy not sell the birds? Like, can you be denied a parrot at a pet shop? The guy knows you're going to eat it.
That just depends on how much he likes minimum wage. Because at that point, he can either be cool and sell it to you, or he.
Because you can't be denied for spite, I don't think, can you?
I don't think so. How does he know you're not joking?
But, no, you're serious. Like, this chick is hot. I'm eating this bird.
Right.
And then I'm gonna eat that bird.
And then you eat that cat.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the phrase came from.
It would be Sky
and Allie.
Not as advertising.
What if her name was Allie?
Yeah, it would make sense.
Are girls named Allie always feel like they're abandoned? So I wonder, because they're all alley cats.
No, I don't think so. I always imagine that any girl named Allie, I automatically think of a loose vagina. Automatically.
There's not enough Kegel exercises.
There isn't. Schmiegel couldn't even do enough Kegels.
You should have saved all that rap stuff for next time.
I should have, yeah.
Schmiegel and Kegel.
Actually, I was thinking of a rap earlier. I was gonna do.
You're laying out some funky beats
with is it CJ, right? JC.
You're dyslexic.
I'm dyslexic. No, it was something about. It was gonna be about Bill Cosby. How he. I'm so surprised that the rape happened. Cause, I thought he was the trustable Huxtable.
There you go.
Let's kind of go from there.
Little play on words.
Yeah.
He might have picked up on it.
Yeah.
Depending on how the show was going.
Yeah. He's a trustable Huxtable.
So I heard about the other day, I haven't seen the video yet, but apparently there's a viral video going around, and this is true, they have the video up on YouTube. Apparently, like, again, I haven't seen it. But apparently, seals are now going around raping. I'll say on the topic of rape, raping penguins. So
here's the thing though. If we're gonna make the leap that the penguin has enough conscious sense to be willing or not willing, that's a whole other topic.
Right.
Because who's deciding whether that parrot is consenting? Us or the parrot? From our point of view, it's rape.
You're still eating parrots.
I'm still eating parrots. I don't know what happened. Penguin. From our point of view, yeah, it's rape. But the penguin might be like, this is fucking awesome.
Right. Look at this big meaty.
We're putting the word rape into that.
We are.
Now there is a such thing called dolphin rape.
Is that a true thing?
True thing. It rapes people. And that's how they know that it's like they call it rape, but it's not like.
There's no insertion.
They try though. It's really weird. You can go on YouTube, and they'll like. It's like they're super horny. The divers be down, and they'll try to like insert into the diver. It's called dolphin rape. It's a real thing. It's like.
See, I always thought dolphin rape was when Dan Marino banged Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura.
No. You're a weird guy, Travis. Okay. You're a weird guy.
I keep hearing this. But I heard that Vivid is making a spoof off of the penguin porno.
Are you being serious?
Called Happy Ski. So that should be fun to see.
Too bad Rob Williams didn't hang around long enough to see that.
You know, if they'd have left him alone, he would have hung around that long enough.
That's so sad. Actually, what we're doing is we're tearing down two of the great comics.
Why not?
In the first 15 minutes.
They're not here to defend themselves.
No, they're not. But yeah, that's weird too. That whole thing. It's hard from outside perspective to us in the perfect life.
Allegedly.
Successful, big house, movies, people know, money. Then he kills himself. Like, why would you do that?
My theory on it is because Rob Lowe was going to make that character on the DirecTV commercials about the hairy guy that gets the comb stuck in his back.
Yeah.
I was assuming that was a spoof on Robin Williams himself. Because Robin Williams is known to be a hairy guy. He actually played the double for Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf.
That's funny.
Whenever he would be there. Change right before the basketball game. He would change into Robin Williams.
Stunt double.
Right.
That's funny.
By the way, apparently Michael J. Fox is great at craps.
That's what I hear.
But it takes so long to throw the dice that the other people that are standing around, they get pretty upset with him.
Well, that's why you got to go to better casinos.
I don't know, we're messing with some cables, we're working with this box. That's a lot better.
I don't know what happened. It wasn't blank?
It's good now.
That's weird. You sure you didn't like blank? Did you have a stroke? Or what?
I might have a little.
Blank out?
I feel like it. I feel like golfers are always having strokes.
You know what's weird? Like, everything is like something. Isn't that?
Well, you know, the old saying is if pussy tastes like chicken, we'd all be cat. You know?
No, I've never heard that one. It must be a Barnes family tradition.
It's a southern thing. The southern traditional.
I probably should have said your name on I did earlier. I guess it doesn't matter.
Are you still with me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No, I'm not with you.
I thought you were 2 sheets to the wind.
No.
You should upload that video of you dancing outside of the comedy club.
Maybe I'll do part of it. Maybe I'll upload part of it.
Do you want to get into that any? Your rant at the comedy club?
No, I don't. I want to. I feel like
you should.
I don't know what happened there. It's going to be hard to describe it. And I need to talk to Steve, who was there with me, that how do you think it was perceived? Because in my head, and I've talked about this before, I kind of slipped into that mode of, I know I'm talking, but I don't really know where the words are coming from. It's just kind of flowing through me, and I'm just saying it.
Right.
Like, I was in that mode where, like, I know I'm doing something, and I can see and feel people around me, and I can see the reactions, but I'm just kind of there saying words. Like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just saying it. And I need to get into that on stage. I don't know. Not permanently, but on stage. I need to get comfortable enough where I'm just in that flow where I'm not remembering my jokes. I'm just saying my jokes. And I'm not there yet.
to a quarterback whenever he's taking the field and he's just in that moment reading the defense.
Exactly. It's like whatever that in the zone is to that certain person, that's the feeling. Like when a basketball player's on the free throw, not even looking at that 10,000 people with those little noodles in the background. You know, they're not looking at that. They're just like, I'm throwing this ball through that hole, and that's all I know.
That's the end of it.
I was doing the speech. That's all I was in. Like, I'm saying this.
Right.
And
you should loop people in on what exactly took place. Explain what is the theory?
It's the Schroeder cat theory.
Schroeder cat.
Schroeder cat.
Not the scrotum cat.
Not the scrotum cat.
That'd be a whole different podcast.
Absolutely. And I don't even be saying it. I might be Schrader or Schroeder. That doesn't really matter. Now, yeah. Now there's a box and there's a cat in the box and there's poison in the box as well. Now the question is did the cat drink the poison and die, or did the cat not drink the poison and live? It's the unknown. So the correct logical answer is the cat is both alive and dead. And I was trying to compare this to the Malaysian airline and how the American public is bought into the fact that it's in the ocean and everybody's dead. But we don't know. I didn't see it take off. I didn't see any of those people get on the plane. I didn't see it hit the ocean. But that's the story that we were told, and we just believed it. We just used the logic of a child and their drink's gone. All gone, and then we're like, oh, okay, makes sense. Like, what do you mean gone? If something is nowhere, that's more of a story than the plane disappearing. Like, we accepted it.
And what's interesting too about the Malaysian flight that I thought was that ABC ran like 5 seasons of this documentary on their network.
What are you talking about?
They kept calling it Lost.
So you had me for a minute.
Right.
That story took place earlier on in the comic club when I was at the bar talking some comics, and I was already feeling pretty good. I started talking about this theory, and one of the other comics walked in, heard it. Then I got on stage and did fair. Let's say fair.
We're being generous.
We're being generous. And then the next guy went up and he was talking about how the Malaysian Airlines being talked about so much. Then that apparently was cue for me to go on a philosophical rant in the bar as the audience member, and I'm not even on stage at this point. And I'm going through saying this, and I stop and if you want to go, you're on stage. You don't want to chew up your time. So like, no, I didn't prepare anything. So I'm like, that was cute. All right, keep going. It was probably 3 to 5 minute rant. People are like, what is this guy saying?
Who's this crazy? Who let the crazy in?
What is this guy even saying? Like I don't know if they understood it or better than that, they didn't even want to hear it. But I was like, okay, you need to hear this.
What's funny is the fact that you were so poised during that argument.
I was like right on point. I had that thought earlier in the day, but I never said it, never wrote it down. I don't even know how I got on the topic to begin with. Went right into it.
But yet before that, you go on stage and fall flat.
Yeah. So I don't know. The potential is I do have that ability to get into that mode. I just have to force myself to practice more and get comfortable on stage.
Now you're treading on Cosby's level. You don't want to force anybody to do anything.
No. The mic, her name is Michelle. The female mic is Michelle. It's consenting.
Was it Mike Black? I don't know if Michelle's along those lines, but so where are you doing comedy at, dude?
Big Easy Tavern. Open mic is Tuesday nights, and then December 19th there's a roast of Santa Claus, which I'll be doing.
Everybody's doing a character, right?
Everybody's doing a character.
Who's your character?
Twanza Timmy.
Twanza.
No, Kwanzaa Timmy. Remember Saturday Night Live? Tim Meadows, where Tim Meadows was Saturday Night Live? He did a character that was Kwanzaa Timmy. And that's what I'm going to do, because I feel like everybody's going to do the common character. So I try to think outside the box. I'm going to go as Kwanzaa Timmy.
That should be a fun time. That's going to be at the Big Easy Tavern?
Yeah.
What day is it?
December 19th, which is a Friday, I believe.
You know what time?
I don't think it's been set. Yet. I would say 9:30, 10. So everybody come out. That'd be a fun time.
That'd be a fun time.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Maybe Tavern's kind of a fun little club.
It's got that dingy,
low ceilings.
Yeah, it's got that anything goes attitude. Like, you can just kind of walk in, like, all right, this is.
What's funny about that place is on Thursdays it used to be a swingers bar.
Thursday. I think it's every day.
And then you go in there and.
Well, they're not going to deny a swinger on a Monday. They're we're coming back. We come back on a Thursday.
You gotta wait.
Because they're open-minded enough to be like, all right, I don't know it's Monday, but just come on in. Close out this program. Not close out, minimize. Minimize. Right there. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it should just pick up. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I feel like this is our second podcast, so it's practice as well. I feel like, at least me, I'm imagining I'm talking to an audience that isn't there.
Right.
When we just need to talk to each other.
Kind of like also
because I'm saying things as if somebody else is listening.
Well, you need to in a sense, because if someone is listening, they have to know what's going on.
Yeah. But I feel like we're not just communicating with us. Like I'm also communicating with that idea that somebody else is out there.
Right. Well, I mean, also though, if you're communicating with me, yes, but also people have to know. Whenever you're listening to an audiobook, they just say, "Hey, me and old boy, we went out and we shot that guy, and he died. We got away with it after a lengthy trial. Thanks for listening."
No, that's not how it goes.
Right. So you would have to know who shot who was the name of this guy, who was in the jury, why did it go to trial.
Yeah.
You got to include these details because somebody might be listening, somebody might be reading.
I also feel like that little short story you just said was, wasn't that the Ray Lewis trial?
It might have been.
Was that?
It was either that or To Kill a Mockingbird. They're both birds.
Tequila Mockingbird.
Tequila Mockingbird is a drink. You get it your local
Actually, I'll have that with the parrot meal I'm cooking.
If she's a 9 though, it's going to take a lot more than Tequila Mockingbirds.
Well, I don't know. She's not a 9, I'll guarantee you that.
I guarantee it.
If she's just, how about this? How about would you do this? Like, say you wanted to go to the pet store to get food for that date.
Just go to Everman's.
No. If she was an uglier girl, would the animal get uglier too? Like, would it be like gerbil?
Like a warthog.
Yeah, like
you're banging a 1.
Right, exactly. Like 1 is warthog and like parrot is 10. Like.
And if she's an Asian 10, you got to get a puppy, right?
Yeah, you have to, absolutely.
Is a puppy the the Chinese version of ill?
No.
Because you would think, because they all eat is dog apparently. So Great Danes you would have to assume would be like a sirloin, and then a baby Great Dane would be
delicious.
That's what I'm assuming in this scenario. Here's another scenario that we need to. I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about it, and I was thinking about posting it to Facebook. Would you bang a guaranteed 4 or a potential 8?
I think you have to go with potential 8. No?
Well, it just depends.
On what?
Well, I mean, like the potential 8.
I think you said that backwards.
How so? I said this. It was just the 8.
No. Wouldn't it be the other way around?
Would you bang a potential 4 or a guaranteed 8?
No, that wouldn't make sense.
That wouldn't make sense. Because then, of course, you would take it.
Yeah, of course you'd fuck with 4.
But if you had a 4 100% down to Pound Town.
This is actually a pretty good question.
It is. Or would you take a 50-50 shot at an 8? I think a majority of people would say they would take a 50-50 shot at an 8.
Now that I understand it, and I'm going to think about it,
because there's always that chance that you leave with nothing. It's kind of like the actual version of Deal or No Deal.
I think what you have to, like that next morning, you're like, I fucked a 4. Or you'd be like, but I almost fucked an 8. So it's that next morning, how do you want to feel? Like, oh, I'm that person that fucks 4s.
But one of those people are going home full. So
full of what, he says?
So that's what you have to. That's what you have to figure out where you want to be at. And I think that would be a good question to present to our audience because I feel like that would be one that they would have a good point of view on in a sense.
Comments.
A lot of Facebook comments for sure. Something else recently I'm coming to the end of Sons of Anarchy. It's a show that I've been watching for a while now. And in this previous season, it had a very moment. And an moment to me is something that you didn't see coming out of the blue. It just bursts onto the scene, completely blows your mind, throws everything that you thought was going on out of the window. And that's something else that I thought about posting was, what's been those moments in TV history that you've just said, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe they killed this character off, or this person got in an accident or a pregnancy or whatever it could be. I feel like there's a lot of those, and I would be curious to see people's point of views on those. Also, this is very difficult whenever somebody leaves out of the room to do something and you're by yourself. I find it's almost a version of insanity to sit in an empty room and talk to yourself. So,
sorry about that. I had to organize the laundry.
You do a lot of that, I see.
Yeah, it's a dirty job if somebody's got to do it. I heard what you were saying about the moments in history, and I feel like, sadly, maybe it's just my reality, but it seems like a lot of those moments are more negative for people. Like, was there a moment in like human history where people remember it for a good reason? Like you have like the Kennedy.
So this isn't TV history.
Oh, I must have missed something. I was thinking like TV history is like something that was on like a news story.
No, I was talking about a TV show.
Oh well this.
But go ahead though.
Okay. But see, was the two quick examples? Have the Kennedy assassination, which was bad. You watched his head blow off.
Two towers.
In the Twin Towers. Like
that
those
was Lord of the Rings, but
the other two towers. And both those are bad things, but a majority of human beings remember where they were when like a tragedy happened, and far less people know where they were when like a globally televised awesome thing happened.
Well, I would also
like there isn't one thing you can point to that people are like, oh, that time I watched
the Berlin Wall fall down.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Well, other than that, what is there?
There's nothing.
There isn't.
And how good is that actually?
I don't know. I mean that's touchy topic.
There.
Exactly. But I think that's sad. I think that's a sad thing.
Yes.
No, if that's a pretty good topic. I mean, what do you think about that? Because,
well, I think it just when tragedy hits, you don't remember the good times. It's always the bad times that really stick. They really burn an image in your soul.
That's sad though, isn't it? I mean, that's
I think
a sad
so, but I
thing.
think it's part of your makeup.
I'm not talking about like the day Travis has kids. Like that's a moment for you. But I'm talking about that wasn't televised.
Should have been.
It should have been.
It was intense.
Yeah, it was intense. It should have been like that moment. Like there isn't a moment that like a majority of human beings can look to collectively, because we all watch it together basically. I mean, it wasn't together, but we all watched the same news. There isn't like there isn't a birthing that happened that everybody watched like, oh, I had a part in that. That's mine.
Well,
like there isn't that collective. It's not there.
You recently had the princess and the prince have their baby, and everybody was kind of following that.
Yeah.
But you don't know where you were when she popped it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I know where I was when he popped it in.
Right. You were there filming.
Yeah, I was there.
Slut.
Well,
the whole English are all sluts.
English are great.
They don't speak it well. They're very toothy, I find.
They are toothy. Speaking of that, you know the Ricky Gervais show, Derek. Did you get into it yet?
I haven't yet.
Oh my god.
I hear it's great though.
It's to me it's the funniest show ever made.
It's a bold statement.
Not even that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because
Netflix is a sponsor.
And Netflix is a sponsor. No, I mean it's emotional. Like you're probably gonna cry. You're gonna not cry. You're gonna stop crying, and at the end you're gonna laugh and cry at the same time, all in the same 20 minutes. Like holy shit.
Similar to your sex life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like 15 minutes.
Right.
Wow. Come on. Second. But no, it's a good show. It's very good.
What is he? He's a special person.
They don't say. They allude to autism, but they don't act. They don't. But maybe I haven't watched season 2 yet.
That's a bold statement to make off of one season show.
I'm saying it off the first episode.
One episode in, greatest show of all time. By the way, read all of Denny's Yelp reviews. They're very good. They're very good.
I am the least trustworthy Yelper there is.
He's the person you want on your juror trial whenever the defense goes first.
Yeah. I walked into a restaurant. This is gorgeous carpet. This is the greatest place I've ever been in. That doorknob was brilliant, by the way.
He didn't kill him. The defense rests. Well, I've heard all I need to hear.
I've heard all I need to know. Open and close.
Now you're speaking my language.
Now you're talking my language. No, I am making that statement. You'll go through an array of emotions in the first 20 minutes of that show.
It's that good.
It's that good.
Here's something I want to talk about. I've recently got into the Facebook because obviously we started the podcast, Elegant Profanity. You need to go like the page, by the way. Especially if I send you an invite and you don't like it, that's just rude. But how come? So here's something. We created a Facebook. You obviously have your work. We have this on the side, and then we have our personals.
Okay.
Okay, so we're actually doing something with the Facebook. It's not just a platform to go on there and talk. We're actually trying to promote something and get it out there. How come almost every post I see is either about these kids, someone's kids, or something that doesn't pertain to anything? Wow, chicken pot pie, 98 cents, step your game up, hashtag yum yum.
Yeah. That, and here's the thing, that'll have 14 comments.
Right.
And 9 likes.
Yeah. But then you post
like the first podcast, where to the outside world doesn't mean shit, but to me and you, it's like we've been talking about it for years.
Right.
And now it just kind of, it's no longer a conversation, it's a real thing.
Right.
And that is weird. And even with like my stand-up, I'm very new to it. I'll post a video, like I got up there and said like private jokes that I thought were funny to somebody else in a room full of people drinking.
Right.
That's fucking ballsy. And I'll post on Facebook, nothing.
12 views.
Nothing, not even. It's like nothing. It's like even if you're just a friend, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, it's like, but it's really strange. And I don't get that paradigm. I don't know what that.
I don't either. I know my wife posted some pictures of our children the other day, and it got like 62 likes in 2 days.
Well, kids are different though.
So our kids will be doing the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I know this is really rough to listen to. Since, I mean, you have to keep in mind, this is something that we're putting out there. This is, our own points of views. We've never taken any kind of public speaking classes.
I've taken quite a few. I failed all of them. I took them over and over again.
Then it's just a failure at this point.
Yeah.
We have no notes prepared. We tried to write some notes down. We wrote welcome on a blank page. So,
but just start. You got to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere, and I know that you're probably listening to this. If you're even listening to this, and you're saying,
yeah, nobody's 34 minutes in.
Somebody's in. Somebody's
no,
34 minutes. Somebody's bored at work.
Maybe our moms are about ready to just go to bed. Like,
right. But if you can just bear with us, go with us through this journey. Let us practice. We have solid guests lined up. The whole point of this podcast is to bring interesting people in, and not necessarily just to promote what they have in a sense of, this is my art, this is my business, I want to get it out there, I want people to buy it. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but we want people to come on who are just interesting people. They have something conversations that are going to actually enlighten people. I know whenever I listen to a podcast, I love to hear stuff that I never knew before, and get a different point of view from somebody that I've never seen before through mine, and just open yourself up and listen to that for us to actually have a conversation instead of just having you come on and do 5 minutes where we interview you, you're gone, you leave, and that's the end of it. But actually come on as us have a conversation. I think that once we get to that level where it's not the second episode, but it's the 20th episode, and you look back and you say, wow, those guys are garbage. Now it's actually pretty good. If you can just stick with us through that, I think you're really going to enjoy what we're going to bring to the table.
There's a the whole rule in stand-up, and I researched it. It's get good, then get seen. And what makes me think is we should just we're gonna post all of it because I feel like it's a process. People need to see the process. But in reality, we shouldn't even post to Facebook until episode 50.
Right.
Like that's our number one.
Right.
No post to number one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I
This
don't want to either. I think we need to just put it up there because there's no followers anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna take a while. We're gonna just stick to this. And as far as the people that are coming on, we want to come on, have on, anybody that's doing something, like artist, entrepreneur, fighter, whatever they're doing, other comics, just come on. I want this to be a platform for them, for those people.
To just be able to sit down and actually
Right, and it gives them an opportunity for one. I enjoyed Eddie Play Night was awesome. That's awesome. So we can just appreciate somebody else doing what they want to do with their life. That means a lot.
Because like we've said before, how many people are actually sitting down and having an hour conversation with somebody?
It was intense by the end of it. I'm like, you don't normally do that. Not with 4 focused people.
Right.
It was totally different. Usually you end up talking to one person. Like if you're at a party, you end up talking. There's like 5 conversations going on, but it was one focused conversation
for a whole hour.
For an hour,
which is really difficult.
It is. And it was good to have Hank.
It was.
He helped a lot.
He was a good mediator.
Yeah. Hank is funny.
Hank is a ton of fun, literally. But next week is going to be Thanksgiving. You're going to stay in Pensacola, or are you going to New York?
I'm staying in Pensacola.
Are you doing anything?
I got to work. I'm not sure I'm doing.
Okay. Hopefully we're going to do 2 podcasts next week, so that should be fun.
Yeah. We'll give it, I guess, a spoiler. Michael Perkinson, local comic, writer, a newly actor. He got cast in a movie. I don't know the full name. I don't remember. I saw it once, but it's to the premise of Helen Keller versus a werewolf. I'm imagining it's like a sci-fi B movie.
Red box.
Right, but it's gotta still be fucking awesome.
Helen Keller versus a werewolf.
Yeah, but it's still awesome. I mean, to be cast in it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know he's excited. He was talking telling a lot of people. Hopefully he comes on Monday. Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And then Wednesday we got.
Wednesday, we're gonna try to get Robert TQ Turnquest. He's a local professional MMA fighter. That'll be Wednesday. So hopefully it all works out. I know it's a holiday week, but
it's gonna be a short week. It's gonna be hard to get everybody in, but I think that it's gonna be good. Hopefully it works out. And then, like I say, hopefully we'll have Make 'em Listen on sometime in the future whenever he gets his schedule rearranged. So that should be good.
Now is he gonna freestyle? What is he gonna actually do? Or does he have?
He has songs. We never really had to talk about it, so I wasn't able to go over. I was going to ask him to do kind of like what Ed did with the 2 songs and just kind of see where it went from there.
Yeah, that's got to be weird on a one-on-one level, rapping to somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see like no woman wants to be serenaded by Eminem one-on-one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, wait a minute, what?
Right.
So it's going to be kind of weird for him, I would imagine.
Or maybe he brings a song in, who knows.
What do you mean brings a song in?
Like a song that just plays.
Oh, I hope he does it live. I want to see him do it live.
Yeah, which I'm sure he would.
Yeah, but that's got to be weird for him. Like, he has a lot of words and a lot of things to remember. And
especially through no music.
That's another thing. Actually, if he wants to bring a recorded beats,
right,
have them and just play it on the computer or bring something up. But it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
And if anybody that's listening has anything like that, any interesting thing that they want to get out there, please hit us on Facebook. Let us know, and we'll schedule you in to do something. We got, like I said, several people lined up already, but we are always looking for somebody else that just an interesting person. If you're an interesting human being, we'll talk to you.
That's vague. Because are we interesting? That's the question.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We are, but not on the microphone yet. But we're working on it. It's going to get better every time we do it.
There's a fine line between, I think, entertaining and insane.
So what else is going on? Have you heard any stories?
What type of stories?
Butthole stories mainly.
Yeah, actually I have. Today on the phone earlier this morning, Travis told me about semen warriors.
Semen warriors.
That's not real.
It's definitely real. Semen warriors, for those who don't know, I'm not sure where they're based out of, but they're a primitive tribe, and their whole belief is the more that these young men, I don't even really want to say this, but
say it, don't spray it.
The more they ingest of semen, the stronger they become in the warrior sense. So they take these young men, and I mean these are thousands of people. This isn't just one.
Thousands, literally.
People.
How many people, or how many receptacles?
That's a 1,000, 100.
No, how many
People are receiving it.
Yeah.
That is out there. I don't know. Who knows?
What's worse, 1-on-1 or like one?
Would you rather take 10 loads or one guy 10 loads, or 10 guys 1 load?
Yeah.
That's the question that we've been asking since George Washington chopped down the cherry tree.
I'm going with, since it's boys and they're unwilling, it's all bad.
It's all bad. But their idea is the more they ingest, the stronger they become. So,
how do you get to that point? Where does that come from?
I don't know.
How gullible was the first little boy?
And why did he go tell his friends it was great?
Yeah, it's weird. It's got to be fake.
Look how strong I am. It's like whenever Jordan or Adidas had the pump ups. You know, look how much higher I jump.
Yeah, or the ad campaign, run higher, jump higher, run faster.
It's the PF Flyers in the Sandlot.
That's what it is.
You know, but in this case, it's semen.
Semen, a lot of semen.
Right. And if we could only get girls in the USA on board with that, of how much stronger they could beat Ronda Rousey.
Their skin would be magnificent.
And their teeth pearly white. They could lift up a bus instead of taking one.
I was thinking about, because I want to research it, not to see it, but like understand it. And then when I Google search this, I'm going to preface research purposes only, semicolon, semen warriors. Like, so if anybody goes back and looks at my search history, they're like, okay.
Well, the FBI flag.
Exactly.
Because you already had to let your neighbors
or research purposes only. No joke, I'm not jerking it. Semicolon.
Right.
Semen warriors. It's the only way to get away with anything on the internet. You have to preface what you're doing. Because set my own case up for the next 30 years.
Because when you let all your neighbors know that you're moving into the neighborhood, semen warriors, that's not part of the contract they signed.
It's not. We're being light about it, but it is really screwed up.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
That's way to blash in the second podcast, by the way.
Some more technical difficulties. Just a second. When is your anniversary?
So, but these semen warriors.
Oh, this is actually cool. Next summer, I'm planning a trip to. Well, I'm trying to plan a trip to Peru. For a psychedelic experience.
What's happening in Peru? There's nothing but rocks there.
There's Machu Picchu.
Who's that?
I don't know him, but he'll be there. No, so I'm looking forward to that.
Now, what is that though? I've never heard of that. You don't know what it is?
I forgot what it is actually. I got to do some more research.
But I'm going there.
Willy nilly.
I know somebody that went there last year, and they took pictures, and it was a bunch of rocks. Peru is nothing but rocks and people that live in rocks. It reminds me of that scene in Star Wars where Luke Skywalker goes out there with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're driving through that sand, and they see all those people, and they got the eyes. That's Peru.
That's Peru?
They shot that there.
Oh, wow, on location.
On location in Peru.
That's pretty neat. Now, what I'm wondering is the satellite that's on the comet. Is Bruce Willis up there, or do they go to bring him back?
Well, he doesn't come back.
He doesn't.
It's a one-way trip.
It's a one-way trip. Because I'm pretty sure I saw him in another movie. They must have filmed it before that.
By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, technology just came where 10 years ago we shot a little drilling robot to go land on a comet. Precisely in that location 10 years later, the comet's there, the robot's there, we landed, but didn't take into account the gravitational pull of the comet. So it bounces up, lands back down in a shadowy spot on the comet, and it's solar powered, and now it's doing nothing.
That's really what happened?
That's really what happened.
I feel like it's easy to say, why do you think of that? But why didn't you think of that?
Yeah. But
it sounds stupid, but like, wouldn't that, okay, well, let's say a checklist. Wouldn't that have been one of them? Like the gravity of this thing? Like, wouldn't that have been?
They had these things, they were like harpoons. As soon as they hit the comet, they're supposed to shoot these harpoons down into the comet.
Okay.
To keep itself. The harpoon mechanism malfunctioned.
Okay.
So they had a backup plan where it would drill itself into the comet, but it couldn't drill fast enough before it bounced. Okay. So I'm not sure which one they actually didn't think of is the gravitational pull, or if they were relying on the harpoons to deploy.
Okay.
But how is that not the biggest the biggest ultimate climax to downfall there ever was?
Oh, that was horrible.
Yes,
that could have been one of those. See, that could have been one of those moments in human history that we were talking about earlier, like this super positive thing wasn't aired.
Right.
Well, why wasn't that aired nationally? Why wasn't that on all over the news?
Absolutely. Hear maybe a tidbit of it on the radio.
Yeah. But if it would have been a plane into a building, we would be watching TV right now, not talking. It's that
over and over.
It's that negative.
Well, that's what the news is. They put the last thing in the last 30 seconds. They give you that where that the pig had 18 babies.
Yeah.
They gave him
or the last 18 seconds of a soldier walking home and his dog being happy. It's at the last very end.
Or him throwing out the opening pitch at a Warriors game.
Yeah. No, but the thing.
Meanwhile, this old lady's at the house banging all over her neighbors.
Hey. Consensual. No, the thing about landing on the comet, not even the fact that we landed on the comet. To me, it's the fact that a human being thought of it, and then it's possible.
Right. It's the
like they could just said, well, we're gonna land on two comets at once. Like you can just say things and hope they're possible, but this literally is possible. Like the laws of nature allow that to be possible. You can have the crazy thought, then can it be real?
Here's what I want to talk about is over a week before Peyton Manning broke the touchdown record, it was all over, every sports channel. Oh, he's only got 3 more touchdown passes to go before he breaks the record for a whole week. Now this is planet Earth throwing a robot at a comet.
Yeah.
The biggest, quarterback to wide receiver hookup ever is Earth to comet.
Yeah.
Landed.
And you don't hear anything about it.
But he dropped it.
Well, they reviewed it and he just bobbled it.
They challenged it.
He bobbled
it. He didn't keep possession.
Yeah.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Absolutely.
So that's where that came from. But now we have this dormant robot just sitting on a comet riding through space forever.
Forever. That's the other thing. Think about that. Forever.
Until it hits a star.
And then they
hopefully get solar energy.
And they're able to communicate to this thing. You can't even get cell phone service in the Midwest. It takes 28 minutes, I think, or 28 hours, 28 minutes to get a signal back from it.
From the comet?
Yeah. Think about that. You can't even get a doctor's appointment in 3 days.
That's true. So
that's insane to me. That to me, that part of it is more mind blowing than the fact that
how do you
it's
never
actually
have
there.
How is there a point where you can drop a call?
We're ill prepared.
Very much so. But yeah, that's a good point though, because how could you ever not?
Yeah.
Why is there still buffering?
Yeah. I don't understand that thing. It's on that side. Yeah, and I'm sure it's just us not knowing. I'm sure there's probably a very clear, precise answer. But it seems, for not knowing, it seems like insanity. It's like, how is this even possible? Why are people talking about it?
Yeah.
And really, and they go back to the Peyton Manning thing. I've said this joke before to you on the phone, that you go, many Americans can name 5 like ultra famous athletes, but the only famous bear or the famous fireman you could name is an imaginary bear.
Right.
Like one of those things is way more important.
There's your world tips upside down.
But
Who's really more important? My buddy that came back from Afghanistan last year, who's deployed now again, but he said, I see two of my buddies die in a place that we fought so hard to overcome over there in Afghanistan, and now it's taken back over by Al Qaeda.
no, it's ISIS.
ISIS or whatever it is. So now
Different name.
Right.
Same thing. Different
Same
name.
thing. Right.
Yeah.
SSDD.
Yeah.
So.
Is that what people are calling, or did you just make that up?
Nah, it's the same shit, different name.
I know, but that said like ISIS.
No, I've never heard that.
That's ISIS. That is for ISIS.
Is it icing on the cake?
No, let's not get into that. We're not getting into that. No, but
But
that's
it's
like,
like
it's ISIS, but you get same shit, different day. You could just easily have called it SDSD or
SSDD.
SSDD.
Why not?
That's a funny joke, actually.
Write it down. Use it.
I am writing it down.
So, but he says then he comes home, instead of his two friends being on People magazine, it's a picture of Jameis Winston. You know what I mean? Something that's completely irrelevant. Did he or did he not rape a person? Compared to two guys who are dying for essentially nothing, really. I mean, if you're going to just let it get back like that.
It's the American media for you.
Yeah. Why is there so much rape nowadays?
There is a lot of rape. Not even just rape, but like celebrities in general. There's a lot of shitbags out there. Like in the NFL, there's like negative
People beat
stories.
wives and children and rape.
We're keeping track of way too many people. That's the one thing, though. Man, like we said before, there are happy stories too, though.
Here's what's weird though. Also, is
there's a celebrity story where there was consensual sex and they love each other, but that one doesn't make the news. That story happens way more than the rape one.
Maybe it doesn't.
No, of course it does. Because you've had far more rape stories.
You think the Duck Dynasty wives are consenting to that?
No, those guys are disgusting human beings.
Definitely not. You don't want Bush on Bush.
No.
That's why he didn't get his third term.
That's right. We had to break it up with Bush Clinton Bush.
Exactly.
Can't go Bush on Bush.
Can't go Bush for 8 years. Nobody will tolerate that.
Especially not in 2004.
It's actually 12 years. I'm mixing up my mathematics. I can't even remember what I was going to say now.
Bush on Bush, Duck Dynasty.
Before Bush on Bush, Duck
Before
Dynasty.
that. There was stuff before that?
Oh, there's been a lot of stuff. Anyways.
One of the parts I left out in the Malaysian Airlines, so which is because nobody's listening at this point. But I'm gonna call it back anyway. The poison in the box is the American media. That was a key part of the story that I left out.
So if you are still listening, now you're caught up.
Yeah, if you are still listening, wow.
Props to you.
Yeah, there's got to be a rerun of Hee Haw on somewhere. There has got to be a tack you can step on in your apartment somewhere.
There's got to be a loaded gun in a 10-mile radius.
Yeah, there has to be some arsenic you can lick from the bottom of the toilet somewhere.
By the way, great choice tonight. We're doing craft beer every time we have the podcast. Tonight we did
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie's.
No, Leinenkugel.
Leinenkugel's cranberry ginger shandy. Highly recommended. Very tasty. It's a good beer for
It's a
Thanksgiving,
panty dropper.
Christmassy.
Oh, it is. It's a panty dropper.
It's a panty dropper.
You don't taste the alcohol and it's delicious.
Perfect Bill Cosby drink. We call this a Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Instead of summer ginger shanty, it could be Bud Light. No, I was trying to think of his famous bit that we just listened to.
Spanish Fly.
Spanish Fly. See, I thought it was different. I was going with a completely different reference.
Well, we got 5 minutes left. You want to do some rapid fire?
We could try. What's the worst that could happen at this point?
Right. Let's go with topics.
Okay. You want to start with with the alphabet A, B, like topic. Or how you want to do it? Go ahead.
We'll do.
Because the one that I was thinking is, you like whatever the topic is, pick a topic.
Things you don't want to see your mother. Unsexy Halloween costumes.
Wow, that's a good one. No. Let's do it this way. Let's do sexy Halloween costumes that shouldn't exist.
Okay.
Because those are popular, shouldn't you notice them? There was a Louis C.K., sexy Louis C.K.
I didn't see that.
There's a lot of random sexy ones out there.
So we're going to go A through Z.
It's tough. That's going to be tough.
I don't know if we should do the whole alphabet.
Okay, let's do...
Let's just pick two and go
let's do
with
A through W.
Let's just do two apiece.
Okay.
First thing that comes to your head.
Okay. So sexy Halloween costume that shouldn't exist.
Right.
Go ahead. You first. I'm gonna go with Bill Gates. Nobody wants to see him in the phone.
Nobody wants to see a sexy Bill Gates.
No, or Stephen Hawking.
That's true too. I was gonna say Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Hanky, that would be funny. No. That's it for the second podcast of Elegant Profanity. I'm Dennis Gleason. Hopefully nobody knows our voices yet.
That's true. We should just. I'm Walter Cronkite, sitting in with Chubbs McGee. Yeah, so hopefully, well, I know for a fact that this will get better.
It has to.
We'll start preparing more.
Yeah. This was the first time we did it with just us. That's totally different.
Yeah, it's weird whenever we do it together instead of in a group. There's not a context for you.
Well, I mean, it depends on who is in the group. I don't know who's going to be in this.
So you got any? You got the Christmas roast coming up on.
Which is it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to write jokes for that.
Friday.
December 19th.
Friday, December 19th.
And if anybody plans on going to the roast, don't base that off of this podcast. I have said a few funny things at random times.
It's better in person.
It's better in person. It's like childbirth and gay pornography.
And I'll also be I won't have anything coming up, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
Actually, I'm gonna end with my best shot at a Rodney Dangerfield joke. So yesterday somebody asked me how I was doing. I responded, I just took a Xanax and a Viagra, so things are looking up.
Bada bing. Shout out to our dead friend Rodney Dangerfield, who we never met. But that's going to wrap it up for the second episode of the podcast. Again, bear with us as we try to figre out this cruel, cold world of podcasting. Thanks so much, guys.